Alright guys, we are back here in the Shooter Shack and we're coming off of week 7 and it was a hot one for the kid. I came out of the gates firing all pistols, firing on all cylinders, and I gave you a 5-1 record. That's 5-1 against the spread, 83.3%. And you're probably wondering why I'm not smiling. I'm not smiling because I do this week after week. I made my money. I just hope that you jumped on my back and made yourself something too. So I'm going to give you an opportunity this week once again with my Shooter 6 to make some money with your gambling. If you're not gambling, it's time to start. If you're gambling and you're losing, I'm your answer. Look no further. And you're wondering why this isn't a big deal to me? Because I do it every single day. Just like you get up, have a shower, go to work, I get up at 6 a.m., I look at the phone, I study the trends, I do the work for you. Alright, so now it's your opportunity to cash in. I'm going to talk about each game that happened in week 7. I'm going to break them down for you, show you who I picked, tell you the outcome, and I'm going to lead you right into week 8 that's coming in hot. So thank you again for joining us down here in the Shooter Shack. It's the Shooter, and we're getting her going today, and we're getting her going hot, baby. And this first game, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading down to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City with the 4-2 Chiefs squaring off against the 2-4 New Orleans Saints in a battle between two great quarterbacks, Alex Smith and Drew Brees, with a point total sitting at 54. It seems a little bit high, but I told you last week there were some numbers to back it. I also told you the Saints do not want to join the 2010 Bills as the worst defense to start an NFL season, giving up 5 games in their first 6 with 34 points. I also told you the Kansas City Chiefs secondary would cause a lot of problems for Drew Brees and the Saints, and that was true. However, Brees still had a pretty good night, going 37 for 48 with 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But it wasn't enough to get the job done against the Chiefs. Mike Thomas was his top wideout, getting 10 catches for 130 yards. I told you Marcus Peters would get the better of Brandon Cooks in this one, dating back to their 2013 college matchup, and guess what? He did get the best of him. Petey Big Cooksy again, shutting him down, only allowing him to have 7 catches at 58 yards. Alex Smith, he was calm in that pocket, going 17 for 24, 244 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I went with the under 54, and I'm not going to lie, when there was 21 points scored in that first quarter, I thought we were done. But I stuck to the plan, I stuck with it, and at the end of the day, the defense has settled down, and we cashed in a beauty. The under hits, and the Chiefs win 27-21. In this next one, guys, we are heading down to Lambeau Field where the 4-2 Green Bay Packers take on the 1-6 Chicago Bears. In a Thursday nighter where we watched 2 banged up teams go to battle, I told you last week that I thought Rodgers would take the pack, put him on his back, grab a bagel, have himself a snack, and he did just that. A-Rod goes 39 for 56 with 3 touchdowns. Brian Hoyer on the other end of the coin, our favorite quarterback. Guess what? He doesn't finish this contest. He breaks his arm. And the Bears had to dig deep down into the 3rd starting quarterback area. They gave Barkley the ball. And I'm not talking about Charles. He goes 6 for 15, 81 yards passing, and 2 interceptions. Yikes. Green Bay's Devontae Adams had 13 receptions for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. In a game where the Bears kept it close on the front end, the Packers took it to them on the back end. I told you to take the pack at -7.5. I hope you made some money because I sure as hell did. Final score, Green Bay 26, Chicago Bears 10. And this one, guys, we are heading down to South Beach. Just like I told you, you dip your toes into the water, and it's always just right. The 3-4 Miami Dolphins taking on the 4-3 Buffalo Bills. In a game where Rex Ryan and the Bills tried to pull a fast one on us. If you're a gambler, if you're a professional handicapper like me, we felt the burn a little bit early on. LaShawn McCoy ruled out on Thursday. LaShawn McCoy, Sunday, starting running back. That was pretty sneaky, Rex, but it didn't seem to matter. He only got 8 carries for 11 yards, and he re-injured that exact same hamstring. Not very smart, Rex. Not the one you want. I told you, I like the fish to win this game outright, but you take them at +3. The Dolphins, they had a never-quit attitude. Being down at half, they battled back, and they got themselves the W. Tannehill, he was so-so in this game, going 15 for 25, 1 touchdown, but at the end of the day, he got the W. Brian Hoyer, take note. Miami running back, J.A.J.E. had a massive night, 28 carries, 214 yards, and a touchdown. Now, to my Bills fans, you're probably not going to like me for this one, but this is when your season takes the classic Buffalo Bills turn right down Losers Street Avenue. You got the Patriots coming into town next week. That's going to be another loss, and I think rushing LaShawn McCoy back into the lineup before he was healthy is going to come back to sting you right on the bird. I told you last week, if you're an Applebee's guy, if you're a Kelsey's guy, you're going to the keg. If you're with me, you got a belly full of mushroom caps on this one because the Miami Dolphins took it down 28-25. In this next one, guys, we're hopping down in the Impala and we're cruising down in Nashville, Tennessee for a divisional game between the Indianapolis Colts at 3-4 taking on the Tennessee Titans at 3-4. A divisional rival with two great quarterbacks where I told you the underdog is going to take this one outright. The Colts wanted redemption after that Sunday night loss to Houston a couple weeks ago where they were fighting the truth. When you're losing in overtime to the Texans, that's not the one you want. And they wanted to come back, and they didn't disappoint. Andrew Luck, he wasn't fighting the truth. He goes 27 for 39, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns. Colts wide receiver, Mr. Hilton, he gets himself 7 receptions. He grabs 133 yards and a score. Mariota, the quarterback for my second favorite team in the NFL. But when it comes to sports handicapping and sports betting, there's no favorite teams. I play the trends. I play the numbers. I don't play with my heart. I ain't fighting the truth, and that's not the one you want. But the shooter, he's the one you got. So jump on my back, and let's break down the numbers. Mariota, 22 for 37, 232 yards with 2 touchdowns. DeMarco Murray in that classic running back battle against Frankie Gore, 2 Rams smashing heads in the middle. Who's coming out on top? DeMarco Murray came out on top. 25 touches, 175 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, last week I told you, you buy the half a point, you take the Colts at plus 3.5. Turns out you didn't need them. So guess what? Throw that one back in the bank and keep your money in play right here with the shooter, because we're going to get it back next week with the shooter 6. Indianapolis Colts win this game 34-26, and you can chalk up another one for the kid. And this next one, guys, we're heading down to the Dome. Not the Phillip Rivers No Dome, the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. We had the San Diego Chargers 3-4 facing off against the Atlanta Falcons at 4-3. Now, last week, this may have been my most hated on pick. I seem to take a lot of heat for it, and it was my favorite pick of the week. I told you San Diego was a mixed bag, but when I dunked my hand in there on Sunday night, I knew what I was pulling out. And if you were on my back for that one, you got yourself a piece of the pie. The baby maker, Phillip Rivers, he was on fire. 27 for 44, 371 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. His favorite target for that night was Ty Williams. He had 7 catches for 140. So you look at the other side of the sidelines, the other side of the coin, the other side of the field. Guess what? There's Matty Ice sitting there fighting the truth. He goes 22 for 34, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Julio Jones, the best wide receiver in the NFL today. There's no question in my mind. He grabs himself 174 yards on just 9 catches. However, I told you that San Diego wins on turf and San Diego wins in the Dome. And once again, they got it done. I told you to take him at plus 7, but I guess you didn't need the points, did you, baby? Because they won the game outright. Another couple clicks for Mr. Phillip Rivers. San Diego Chargers 33 to the Atlanta Falcons 30. In this final game of the week, we're going to Philadelphia. We got the 5-1 Minnesota Vikings against the 4-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, this is the only game this week that I can tell you that really stung me right on the bird. This is the only one that I lost. I went 5-1. I can't be perfect every week, but I'd like to be. 5-1's not good enough. 6-0 is where I need to be. But this game right here, it was the closest that I could have given you to a lock, in my opinion. And I'll tell you, sometimes when respect is deserved, you got to ship it over across the table on a hot plate. And Carson Wentz, guess what? You deserve it this week. You beat the best defense in the NFL. I told you last week you weren't prepared for it, but it looks like you were. Even though your numbers weren't the greatest, you only went 16 for 28, 138 yards with a touchdown. Numbers don't always tell you everything. In this case, you got the job done. Sammy Bradford, he comes back to Philadelphia and his numbers look okay. He goes 24 for 41, 224 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But you lost the game. And in the grand scheme of things, that's all that matters. Winning is the one you gotta have, it's the one you want, it's the one you've accounted for, it's the one you gotta get. And at the end of the day, it's all that matters. But look for the Vikings next week to trot into Chicago to play the Bears in Week 8 and really take it to them. So if you lost some dough on the Vikings this week, let your money stay in play right here with the shooter. Let's not get away from the game plan. Stick it right here with the shooter. I'm going to get it back for you. Eagles take this one, 21-10. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap up the recap for Week 7. I appreciate everybody tuning in. You see me once again going 5-1. That's 83.3%. 2 weeks ago it was 80. The week before it was 72. I'm getting better like a fine wine. Week after week, we're getting better. I'm getting more confident. I'm getting more followers. I'm getting more views. I hope you guys are tuning in. And if you're just watching for the sake of it, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to start putting some money in play because it's all safe right in front of me. Jump on the shooter's back. Stop fighting the truth. Let's get this done together. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's right on the bottom of the page. You can click on it and find it. I want you to follow the Instagram. I want you to give me a like on that Facebook page. Share this video too to any friends of yours that like to gamble because these picks are free right now and you're not going to find a guy in North America with a better percentage than me that's giving them out for free. So enjoy them while you can. Stop fighting the truth. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Captured Films for making this happen. And you're going to see me in a day or two, Friday or Saturday, dropping my Shooter 6 for Week 8 and your opportunity to make some stacks. All right, guys, it's the Shooter saying thank you and we'll see you soon.